Hello, I'm Leonie and welcome to my Thermomix kitchen. Today I'm going to be making Garam Masala. But first of all I'll tell you about me. I've had a Thermomix for a very long time. Here's my first recipe book, published in 1978, and I had my first Thermomix in the early 80s. My goodness, we've come a long way from that 2 speeds, hot or not, what with our recipe platform and all the other things that we can do. It's really quite amazing. But I'm going to be doing this in the style of Keith Floyd. As in, I'll have my gin and tonic here, because it's so easy to cook with Thermomix. I can relax whilst I'm cooking. My favourite actually, Silent Pool. I wish I could make that in Thermomix. Anyway, let's get on with our recipe. So, I've called up the recipe on our recipe platform and I'm going to start cooking. If my fingers weren't wet from the gin and tonic I've just picked up. And in we go with the first ingredient. So I've put them all in these lovely little demi-tasse. I used to call them little girl cups, of course, when I was young and my auntie would give me tea in them. So the first item is cinnamon stick. And the next item, 2 tablespoons of coriander seed. And 2 tablespoons of cumin. You will never buy ready ground spices again once you've done this in Thermomix. The flavour is just amazing. In we go with our black peppercorns. 2 teaspoons of those. And then we have cardamom pods, and it says seeds, but no, you don't need to take the pods off. Our team leader, Shanaz, taught us that. They'll just grind up and you'll have an extra flavour, so please don't waste your time. You can do that in Thermomix, take the seeds out of the pods, but let's not bother. Here's my favourite demi-tasse. It's cute, isn't it? And in here I've got fennel seed. Next is cloves. And then we have my bay leaves. Now, here I've got fresh ones, but we want to grind them so they're dried. So I've got some dried ones I did. You just leave them laying around for a few days and they'll dry very quickly. So in we go with the bay leaves. Press next. On with the lid. And that is set for 3 minutes at 120 degrees. To roast the spices first to develop the flavour. So we're going to turn to speed 1 and I'll have a little sip of my gin and tonic and I'll see you in a minute and a half. Oh hello, there we are back. I was just reading a bit about Vietnam and Keith Floyd talking about sitting in a bar having a jar. Well, that seems quite appropriate, doesn't it? Anyway, let's put that to one side. And back to our recipe. So, oops, there's me doing a double click. That's why we have the click. So if you do a double click, you know you've done that. So here we have the lovely roasted spices, and I wish you could smell them. Absolutely delicious. So, first thing we need to do is look inside this lid. See how much condensation there is. So it's amazing, isn't it? You'd think those seeds would be dry, but my goodness, they're not. So we wipe that away, because if we didn't, then our spices might go stale. Well, they would go stale in a shorter time. So we live in a humid country, let's get rid of that condensation before we grind the spices. So, lid back on. It doesn't tell you that in the recipe, so you need to remember that one. Measuring cup still in place. And off I go with 1.5 minutes of grinding. So I'll see you back. And here we are back. Our 1.5 minutes is up. And here is my Garam Masala. Now I quite like to use these silicone brushes because they go through the dishwasher And they don't shed hairs like we used to use the paintbrush, didn't we, years ago, but I don't like those ones, so I'm sticking with silicone now. So I'm brushing that all off the inside of the lid. And I like to use a jam funnel to transfer it to the jar. So there we have wonderful fresh garam masala. And you'll find lots of recipes on Cookie-Doo that use garam masala. And the quickest one is cooking garam masala. So there we have, beautiful fresh. Label it and date it. Don't forget the date, the day, the time and the year is the correct way to do it. You'd be amazed how those weeks go. I know we don't think it at the moment, but use it within a month. Thank you for watching.
Hello, my name's Carol. I'm a Thermomix advisor. Today I'm going to show you how to make mayonnaise. This time of year it's very useful with salads and prawn cocktails and anything you like really. So to start off with, we find the mayonnaise on the Cookie-Doo and then we bring it up and we press start cooking. So it's telling me to put a jug on the lid of my Thermomix. Press next. 250 of sunflower oil. Let's just weigh that in. Watch the scales. We're on noughts when you start. Here we go. I'm going to be lucky. Just about going to manage that, I think. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. And then we set that aside. So now we need one medium egg in here, which I've already broken into a pot. So make sure I don't get any shell in there. So that's already in there. And now we need some lemon juice or vinegar. Well, I like both in mine. So we have a teaspoon of lemon and we're going to put in a teaspoon of vinegar. There we are. And then 2 teaspoons of mustard. You can use English mustard or you could use whole grain mustard if you wanted, or you could do one of each. Doesn't really make too much difference, just the flavour. 1, 2. Get off. That's it. And then we do next a couple of pinches of black pepper. 1, 2, and half a teaspoon of salt. So I'll just put a little bit of salt in. And then it says to put the measuring cup back on into the lid, fix it back in, and then press next. Then in 1.5 minutes, it's going to go to speed 4, and while the blades are going round, I'm going to drizzle in the sunflower oil to make the emulsion. The sunflower oil will go down in between the lid and the measuring cup. It's also a little tip, you can break your eggs on here for making meringue, so you'll get your egg yolks round the top and all your egg white will go straight into the jug. And it does work, because I actually do that, and also saves you missing any little bits of eggshell that you might get in there, because you don't particularly want that in your meringue. So there you go, that's nearly all out the jug. So we'll just wait for that to emulsify now, and it will be done. So it really is very, very quick. And then afterwards I use the pre-wash to wash the Thermomix jug out. So it's a very, very good recipe. You can add garlic as well to make a garlic mayonnaise. So if you put your garlic in first and just put 2 garlic cloves and then 5 seconds, speed 5, and then carry on the recipe. or start the recipe, and then you'll have garlic mayonnaise. You could also add a couple of chilies if you want to make it hot. So there we go. We press next, and we transfer the mayonnaise to a bowl. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely lovely. So I'll just get my bowl and I'll show you. Beautiful. And you can keep this in the fridge for 3 or 4 days and it will be fine. Okay, there we go. Whoops, gone over the side a little bit there. Never mind. So there you go. Mayonnaise. Bye.
Hello, my name is Fazila. I'm a Thermomix advisor. I've been an advisor for 2 years now, and today we're going to be cooking a carrot cake. $300 grams of carrots, 3 large eggs. This cake is very easy to do, no grating, everything just goes in. 350 grams of brown sugar. I've done a little bit less because I don't like it too sweet. 50 grams of sour cream. Um, 160 grams of sunflower oil, 250 grams of wholemeal flour, and 1 teaspoon of bicarbonated soda. Next, half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg and cinnamon, which I've pre-grounded in my thermi. Some sea salt. Next, so lid on, and it's literally chopping and mixing in 15 seconds. In the bowl. So just going to scrape down the sides and check there's no big lumps of carrots left. No. I'm going to add the lid and just give it another quick mix. And transfer into the baking tin. My family love walnuts in carrot cake, so I'm just going to add a small handful of chopped walnuts and mix them through with my spatula. And now I'm just going to pour. 1 second. Next, I'm going to bake this in my oven for 45 minutes. Stop. While the cake is cooking, I'm going to prepare our cream cheese frosting. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, and peelings of an orange, thin peelings, none of the white pith. And we're just going to grind that together, and it'll release the oil. Just scrape that down, and we're just going to give it one more grind. That we're going to add 300 grams of cream cheese, and we're going to add some honey. It gives you an option of 15 to 30 grams. I usually add about 20 grams of honey. A good mix. Now we're going to insert our butterfly whisk and give it a mix. So by adding the whisk, it's made our cream cheese frosting nice and fluffy. So once my cake is cooked and cooled, I'll spread the icing over it, and I'll share a picture with you later.